Alright, so we're going to do a little blackjack playthrough here, and along the way practice some of the counts that we've been talking about. So we'll assume the same class rules, and we're assuming a $10 minimum bet. We'll assume that the white chips are 10. So the player is in, and so they're dealt. We're going to play according to strategy. So a 14 would stand on a dealer 6. Dealer has a 16, hits, gets a jack, bus. Right? So the player earns a little bit of money. Now let's talk about the count here. So just like in class, it makes a lot of sense when we're doing this recreationally to match high cards and low cards. High cards are worth -1, low cards are worth +1. So this is a 0, this is a 0, and we have just a -1. So our running count after one hand's been played is -1. So this means not good for the player. It doesn't mean too much, just the first hand. So we put the cards away. Player bets again. No reason to adjust their bet yet. A 19 stands on a dealer 6. Dealer has 16, has to hit. Gets an ace. 17 stands. All right, so player wins again. Now, of course, right now the player is winning, just playing basic strategy. So what do we have here? 9s are worth 0, and a 6 and an ace, so that cancels out a -1 and a +1. And we're left with 2 high cards. So after the second hand, we have -1 was the previous running count, -2 gives us a total of -3. And we're at probably about a quarter deck. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a little under a quarter deck. You don't have to calculate the true count if your running count is negative. If things are negative, it is what it sounds like. It's not very good. So place a bet. You have 9 versus the dealer's 3. Oh gosh, I think 9 doubles down. Actually, I have somewhere here. Probably doubles down. Yeah, 9 doubles down against a dealer's 3. So let's do that. So player doubles their bet. They get one more card. It's a 5. They have a 14. Dealer has a 13. Dealer hits, gets an ace. That's a 14. Dealer hits, gets a 4. It's an 18. So the player loses their bet. And that happens, of course. Now let's do our card counting. So 7's not worth anything. Let's match up high and low cards. An ace and a 3 cancel out. A 10 and a 4 cancels out. And we just have 2 low cards. So that would be -3 is what we had, +2, because each of these are +1, gives us a -1 running count. So a bit more balanced. But still not favorable odds, so we just make a minimum bet. We hit up, we have a 14, player has a 14, dealer has a 10, so the player's going to hit, gets a 3, it's 17, they stand. Dealer has a pair of 10s, dealer wins. Now let's do the card counting. This particular hand has a count of 0. The 9 is worth 0, the 5 is a +1, but the jack is a -1. The 3 is a +1, but the queen is a -1. So this hand doesn't contribute to the running count at all. This is the 4th hand. It's -1 plus 0. It's still -1. So no favorable odds yet. Place a bet. All right, 10 does not double down against a dealer's 10. They would hit, though. They get an 8. And, oops, gosh, actually I should have, let's discard that card. So I should have checked for a natural. The dealer has a natural, so the player loses. And what happens here? The 7 is worth 0. Say the ace and the 3 cancel out, and we have a -1. So things are good for the dealer, for the house right now. So it was -1. It's another -1. We're at -2, and we're about halfway through the deck. Again, we don't have to calculate the true count because any time the true count is negative, it's bad for the player. Player makes a bet. Right. Now this happens, right? Like, oh man, I wish I had bet more. Well, we didn't know. There's no way of knowing, and there was no likelihood. The count's negative, indicating that there are more small cards left in the deck than large cards. These are going to come out at some point, but we don't know. There's no reason to believe they would have come out then. Dealer has a 12, hits, gets a 6, is an 18. Player wins. What's the count? Again, this hand doesn't change the running count. The positive 1 for the 6 is canceled out by the king. The positive 4 for the jack is canceled out. The positive 1 for the 4 is canceled out by the jack. And the 8's worth 0. 6 hand, and we had -2 plus 0 equals -2. So not great stuff here. That's in. All right, player has a 12 against dealer's 10. Player hits, gets a 9. That's good. Dealer has 20. Player wins. And what do we have here? Well, the jack and the 2 cancel out. The 9's worth nothing. So we have -2. Just wretched. Now there are things you can do with this. So running count of -4. That we're not going to talk about, and we can adjust basic strategy. Knowing that there are very few high cards left, there's not much of the deck left, and with a running count of -4, it indicates that most of these are small cards. We're going to see a lot of small cards come out, and that can change the way we hit and stand. Let's see. Yeah, there are some small cards. All right, dealer has an ace. I'll check. Nope. So player has a 6, gets a 14. 14 hits on an ace, gets an 18, busts. Dealer has a soft 18. The 8s are worth nothing. The 7 is worth nothing. The 4 and the ace balance out. So with all those cards, we've only changed our running count a little bit. -4 plus 1 is -3. There's less than a suit left. Lots of smaller cards coming out. That bet was lost. Okay. Bet in. And again, you're going to see more and more of these cards that are worth, say, 0 or small. 8 versus a 7, it hits. That's a 10 versus a 7, hits. That's an 18. Dealer has 16, hits, gets a king. Notice that we did have a high card come out. Again, unless we've actually been counting the number of 10 cards, we won't know how many are left. So even though the count is very negative, there could still be a high card. But lots of low cards here. Player wins. And what do we have here? The 7, 8, and 9 are worth nothing. And the king balances out with one of the low cards. So 9th hand, we had a running count of 3 plus 2. We're at -1. At no point in this game have any of the hands indicated any advantage for the player. All right, now I have 3 cards left. At this point, it's useful to think about what could these cards be. You know there has to be a positive 1. So there's either a positive 1 and then a negative and a positive, or a positive 1 and 2 zeros. Let's talk about that. So you could have 2 of the 7, 8, or 9, or you could have 2 positives and a negative. And a positive. So these are the 2 possibilities. And we don't have enough to play hands. Let's just turn them over. And let's see. That's exactly what we have. We have 2 positives, the 5 and the 6 and the 10. And this idea of being able to kind of predict what's at the end of the hand has been exploited before. There were games where you would deal from the end of the deck, shuffle the remainder of the cards, and then continue playing. So that's it for now. I'll do another one.